Hello, welcome back to Speaking Queerly. We're a podcast produced by Kaleidoscope Youth Center. We're an LGBT youth center located in Columbus, Ohio. I'm Mallory. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the civic engagement and advocacy manager here at KYC.
And I'm Isaiah, and I'm the Development and Communications Manager here at KYC, and I use he and they pronouns.
And today we are joined by a very special guest who I've been so eagerly looking forward to interviewing. This is Ace. Ace is a former KYC youth turned entrepreneur who now owns his own skincare product line, Covet Concoctions. And I will just let Ace, who uses he, him pronouns, I will let Ace tell you all about himself because I think he'll do a much better job than I can. So, Ace, welcome to Speaking Queerly.
Thanks for having me. Very excited. It was definitely started in 2021. I think it was October maybe. I don't know if the article had mentioned that I was in a burglary after I had ran away from home. I'm trying to think. And I had about 11K in the bank at the time that I left. And me trying to think ahead, I liquidated it all. And then the person I was staying with, I guess, eventually found out where I was keeping it,
Oh my gosh.
and then like they set up a whole burglary and stuff.
Oh my gosh, Ace, I had no idea. That's awful.
But yeah, it's KYC helped a lot
So
more than anybody else.
yeah, so to tell us about that because you were a youth involved in our housing program,
Yes,
right? So tell us about how you got connected with KYC through that.
I believe through the Star House had recommended me to KYC. If not the Star House, something similar around that.
Uh-huh.
But I looked into it, and I think I had spoke to Rhonda
Oh yeah.
originally.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was talking to her about the story, she mentioned the housing program. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. And then so she was able to set it up once I finally got an apartment that would approve me because my at the time I was 18, no
Mm-hmm.
credit. So eventually I actually did have one apartment that I was working through paperwork for like 6 weeks probably, just for them to tell me at the very end that I need a co-signer.
Yeah.
So then I was back at square one, but that was the end of December. By the time January came around, I'd found another apartment and I was able to move in, I think on the 10th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, I love that KYC was able to be there for you in that in between time, and that obviously brought you into our lives too, which is cool.
Right.
We definitely was a reciprocal benefit there, right?
So thankful.
Well, before we get into the bulk of the interview, we always do a an add-on question at the start of each episode. So I want to know my add-on question for you, since we're going to be talking about skincare, like beauty care, things like that.
Mhm.
I want to know, what is one part of your daily routine that you absolutely could not go without doing? And this could be like your getting ready routine. This could be any part of your daily routine that you try to do every day.
Try to do every day, eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich first thing.
Dude,
Strawberry jelly, seeded keto bread.
I knew that I would like you. Just completely stole my answer to this.
Like I love peanut butter and
Yes, we relate so hard on that. Isaiah, what is one part of your routine?
So I guess going off of that, I have to know like crunchy or smooth peanut butter.
I really don't mind, but I definitely get smooth.
Okay. With you there. I think for me, for my routine, I love to or like I have to like decompress at the end of the day.
Mm.
So it can be either like, even if it's just kind of resting or like meditating or being mindful or just kind of like taking a minute in like the corner of a room just quietly and just like sitting down.
Uh-huh.
But I think like having that little bit of moment to like self, that's like for me self-care and kind of like makes me able to come up every day. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. I think I need to do more of that in my life. Definitely. Yeah, like I said, Ace totally stole my my response to this. Loyal listeners of the podcast have heard me talk about my affinity for peanut butter before. And when Daria is co hosting, they'll point out that I have a jar of peanut butter sitting at my desk right now, so that I, don't go a day without having peanut butter, I guess. But for me, it's peanut butter and banana, not peanut butter and jelly.
My mom used to make me those.
Yeah.
It's like a childhood favorite.
Oh yeah, my grandpa used to make me that, which is how I got on that routine. So, and I think the other thing is just like finding a way to be outside every day. So,
Yeah.
if I can, the past few days have been torrentially downpouring pouring, so have not been getting outside. Cool. Well, so you already told us about your connections to KYC. I want to know more about your connection to your business. Like, how did this start? Just tell us the story.
So basically, after KYC had helped me, or basically got me the apartment, in January, around the time of June, I had my best friend. Her name is Dana. She moved in as my to be my roommate, of course. She was just waiting for her college semester to finish, and then we were kind of like, I'm trying to remember the job I had at the time. I was at a warehouse. I think it was the Abercrombie and Fitch warehouse, and I did my interview over the phone, so I don't think that they really like knew what I looked like because they put me in the receiving department, which is basically like these big boxes that I have to like maneuver around.
Huh.
And mind you, I'm only like 120 pounds, so
Right.
these 40-pound boxes are literally a third of my weight. I ended up getting food poisoning from them. They had a free food day, and they threw my back out. So I had to stop working there. Then I started working at Bob Evans because I already worked there before. I worked at the Gehenna one when I was 17, 16, something like that. And so I worked at the Whitehall one for a few months. The money was okay. I got good tips, but there's still like the people who get like a $10 meal and give you $1,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Eventually, they had transferred me up to the Westerville one, and the management there was a little chaotic. Eventually, I left and went to another restaurant that had just opened up last October. It's called Tupelo Honey.
Mm.
Trying to remember. They trained me, I think, for a week. I worked there as a server for about 3 months. Ended up getting laid off around Christmas time. But when December had started, I was already looking up ways to like start a business because people would always tell me to do it. And I was like, let me see if I could actually. So even when I was working at Tupelo's, I would bring like my demo products just to have them test it and critique it as hard as they could.
Mm.
Um, so that was really helpful. So eventually, by the time that I was laid off, I had a good amount of not growth, but a good amount of, I'm trying to think of the word, everything that I prepared, I'd say it was like 80% done. And then
Mm.
by the time January rolled around, I think it was the third or the sixth. I have really bad memory of that as
Oh, yeah, you're
a
good.
but I was able to open pretty quickly. But in the meantime, I had to rely on credit cards.
Mm.
And it's not so easy to do that when you're also trying to start a business because I didn't get a business loan.
Mm.
But the success of the business so far has been really great. Uh, I've done better numbers than I would have expected, actually.
Mhm.
Um, I don't remember, but I've always liked skincare stuff. My mom is like really big into like Bath and Body Works because my whole family's like Caribbean. Like
Mm.
they're all from Jamaica. I'm the only one that's born here.
Oh, cool.
And so like they don't have a Bath and Body Works in Jamaica. Their lotions are like actually really cheap. Like my mom would send like big crates back to Jamaica just of like skincare products.
Oh.
People loved it there. S- And so I just liked having like nice skin. I had really bad acne as a teenager too,
Hmm.
Mhm.
until I took Accutane, which
Okay.
that was an experience.
Yeah, I've heard from like friends of mine who have gone through that. That is no joke.
I was so dried up,
Yeah,
but it worked.
that's amazing.
Yeah, my acne was
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can absolutely relate to the experience of having bad acne, but I think
really
at the time yeah, my forehead as a teenager, I don't know what it was, but I think at the time Accutane wasn't as popular as it is now, or maybe it hadn't been tested. I don't really know. It was like relatively new. And so hearing people experience it now, I'm like, oh man, I wish that had been around when I was
Mhm.
younger. So,
They made me sign paperwork actually. They said it could have caused like depression or suicidal thoughts. Like it was a whole big thing. And they had to draw my blood like every 4 weeks, I want to say, or maybe six, which I hate.
oh yeah. Okay, you and I are absolutely like destined to be best friends. I also hate getting my blood drawn, so yeah, that's wild. But
But
I'm glad that it worked out and like I mean, clearly led you to a path that you are enjoying now and that you're getting to like put this passion into money, right?
right.
That's cool.
Hmm. So like Covet concoctions.
hmm
I'm so interested in hearing like where that name came from.
Mm,
Um, well, and when I really didn't figure out the name until like the very end of my research and planning phase. Trying to think. I knew that I wanted a name that I wouldn't have to fight anybody for an
mm,
ad name or a domain. So there was this one game I used to play in middle school. I want to say about seventh grade. What was that? 2016, somewhere around there.
mm-hmm.
And it was called Fashion.
Mm.
I liked the game and I liked the word coven, what it stood for, and then concoctions. I mean, I felt like what are they called? Not like a witch, but like the people who make potions and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I just put those two together and I saw no one had the domain or the at name and I was like, okay, we'll do this for now.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like that's half the battle right now when you're trying to start up like a small business or even just like, I don't know, people who are interested in having an internet presence generally. You have to figure out like how to find a domain name that not only fits your vibe, but like it doesn't fit anyone else's vibe, hasn't already been
Right.
taken. Like, my nickname has always been Mal Pal. Like
No,
various
pal.
people in my life, Mal Pal. But there are so many other Mal Pals on the internet, and that gives me like a little bit of an identity crisis because I'm like, no, 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 I'm Mal Pal, not you, right? So it's great that this name that you came up with has that connection to different parts of your life and then also is unique. Nobody else has come up with it yet.
Right. I might actually change it soon, but I'm
Oh,
thinking, I'm thinking. I don't
Mm.
know. Typing covet concoctions a lot gets kind of tiring. I don't like typing that much,
yeah, that's fair.
and
Yeah,
it's
that's
pretty long. So was my email address. It's like asin at covetconcoctions.com.
yeah, yeah, that is long. Well, I want to know, so it seemed like second nature for you to just start up this business. Like, you said people suggested the idea to you and you were like, okay, well, I need to make sure I do this, this, and this. Like, it seemed like this planning phase of yours, like you had a lot of thought into this and but it seemed like second nature. I want to know, have you always had this sort of like entrepreneurial, like figure it out yourself spirit, or, have you always had this dream maybe of starting a small business?
Hmm. Well, when I was 9, um, me and my friends at the apartment complex, we had decided to well actually I had decided to like sell painted rocks and I found some friends to help me do it. So we would go door to door and like we had made over $200.
No
Yeah,
way.
we literally I promise you.
Unpainted rocks.
Rocks.
That is
But
amazing.
that business kind of went downhill because
Sure.
people are only going to buy some painted
That's
rocks.
fair. Yeah. That is
But
incredible.
like $200+ for like a 9-year-old was pretty surprising actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, but we were hustling.
I love that.
And then I think middle school, I was selling candy and like chips and stuff. I had like a Kindle Unlimited, I think it was called, and I read like books about like businesses and markup and stuff like that. So I,
As a middle schooler, you were reading about that.
yeah,
Amazing. That is incredible.
yeah. So I guess I have had it for a while, that entrepreneurial spirit.
Mm.
That is so cool. I want to know those people who bought the painted rocks, like, where are they now? You know what I mean? Like, do
Oh, they
these
still have
people
them?
know that? Well, yeah, do they have the rocks still, first off? And second off, did they know that they were like helping to kind of like build into this current like you know what I mean, this current business that you have, you
Right, it
know?
would be nice for them to see me now.
Yeah, right, because like if they hadn't purchased those, would you be sitting here having this successful skincare product line, you know what I mean?
Right,
Because that gave you the confidence, I'm sure, to be like, oh, I could do this, people believe in me, would you
right.
say that?
I'm pretty self-critical of myself.
Oh,
And with selling things, especially, like I worked at CVS for a little bit and they have this thing called a care pass and they like always want you to ask people if they don't have it, if they would like one, and I never did. And they like said so many times, they were like, you need to, or else you'll get fired. And I was like, I cannot sell this to people. They don't want it. So just stuff like that. I like to sell things when I feel like people are actually going to buy them. Like when I was selling the Canadian chips in middle school, the stuff that I was selling, they weren't having in the school.
Mm.
People lived far away from the Dollar Tree, gas station stuff, so it was a lot easier to just buy it from me. And I didn't charge like an arm and a leg more than what they would have paid at the gas station. So
That is brilliant. Did your like teachers or anybody and like any adults in the school, did they ever catch on until you couldn't do that, or did they just like let it happen?
they did.
Oh, they did. Dang. Well, that's awesome though. It's a great venture while it lasted, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was good. At least for my knowledge, I want to say, of like operating a business. I figured I would use it eventually later. I always thought about selling Kenyan food, but that's not really what I was passionate about once I got older. So
Hmm. That's fair.
So hearing about healthy concoctions and hearing about everything is like your growth and the community support's been really great. I'd love to hear kind of like what has it been like having folks around you to like keep pushing you forward or like you were talking about like the people around you. What's that been like?
really great. Everybody was very supportive. I didn't have to ask anybody to like once I posted the Instagram. Because the thing is also I didn't tell very many people. I probably told like two of my friends and I guess my mom. Yeah, probably only those three people. So when I dropped it, it was kind of just like random. Like I didn't do any pre-promotion or anything. I just dropped it and went from there. I'm trying to think. My mom has definitely been my biggest supporter and I guess promoter. That's not myself because she works at a hospital, like different hospitals, I think. And she takes the butters that I make and she puts them like by the hand sanitizers and stuff for people to
Oh,
use, and they all love it.
cool.
So I'd say like probably 40 to 50% of my income comes from nurses and
Hmm.
patients and stuff like that. And then my friends also have shared my stuff through social media. And I remember at one point in time, I think it was January, the end of January, I should say. And I was talking to two of my friends who also had businesses, and I was like, you know, I only made $600 this first month, so the third. And they were like, that's really good. And I was like, it is.
Hmm.
And I was like, like they had to convince me. I was like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I felt like I could do more or have put in more effort to make more money because I feel like I wasn't, like I told you, I'm very self-critical and
Hmm.
but I like to get a lot done. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Hmm.
totally.
Hmm.
It absolutely does. And I think too, like, I mean, I don't want you to undersell yourself too, because like your TikTok presence, your social media presence is incredible, right? And I'm sure that's where a lot of people are finding out about it. And that I think when people think about doing social media, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram. Like, of course, I could figure
Mhm.
out social media, but to do it well and to create content that people are interested in, that they come back to, and then go ahead and buy your products from, that's impressive. And that's like to have the skill set to make your product and then market your product. I mean, that's really impressive to be able to do both things. So tell us a little bit more about like for those of you who haven't, or like those who are listening who haven't seen your TikTok and stuff, tell us a little bit about like what you post on there.
So with my TikTok, I like to like post videos of me not only like making the butters and stuff, but also explaining the benefits that it has just from whether it's like being helping with inflammation or redness or pain, scarring, stuff like that. People like the piping videos.
Mm-hmm.
This one isn't piped very well, but a lot of the other ones I've made were better. Piping was definitely a skill I had to learn. 'Cause it's like I'm pushing it and it's like coming out weird and I'm like, how do I like so that was something I had to figure out. That's funny. I actually kind of not like took a break, but I did take a break
Yeah,
from once the article with the Buckeye Flame had came out, I'd gotten a plethora of orders.
really.
Yeah, so it was kind of hard. And I also have a job, so it was kind of hard to also film and make and edit. That's the other thing too. With having the business, I have to be like my own HR, PR, director, editor, secretary, like everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like I had to figure out a lot of things that I didn't already know how to do.
Oh, for sure.
a lot.
And that's, I mean, truly, like, I don't want to undersell how much work goes into that. Like, people see a 15-second TikTok and they're like, oh, that probably took 15 seconds to do in post. But it's like
Yeah.
that 15 seconds to like script that or direct it, as you were saying, and to edit it and to do all the I mean, the hashtags alone take forever to do. You know what I mean? So I think it's totally commendable that you not only are doing all of these things, but that you also recognize, okay, I need to take a step back and prioritize these other things too. Because like at a certain point as well, like the Buckeye Flame article, which if you haven't read this article, we'll link it in the show notes too, so you can check it out. But like at some point, you just got to let like others promote you too, you know. So I think that's cool that you were able to get a bunch of sales from that. And then if you are listening and you haven't seen Ace's products, the one that he was referring to with the piping, we have it right here. If you're watching it on YouTube, which I totally recommend that you do, you can see it is this like gorgeous, like almost looks like a sorbet. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Trix yogurt. Did you ever eat Trix yogurt as a kid?
Yes.
This looks like Trix yogurt to
Mhm.
me, the way that the colors kind of blend together. And it's this yellow and like, I don't know, like a corally salmon pink. And it's a body butter, yes.
Yes.
It smells like Hawaiian punch. It just takes me right back to like a summertime childhood memory. Like, what would you say, Isaiah?
I love it. Yes, absolutely.
It's like a full sensory experience to not only see it, but like the texture in there, whatever. I don't know. I'm totally mesmerized by it. So trying to paint the picture for those who are just listening, right?
So I have to ask you a question. So like you brought all of this in today and you've been doing all of this. So like this is a lot, like you've just mentioned. Like what's been the biggest things that you've learned or as you've gone on this journey, what's been the things that have stuck out to you the most?
That's a great question. Um, I would say the biggest thing that I've learned probably is consistency.
Mm,
At least for I think a month or two, I was actually like posting every day on whether it was Instagram or TikTok, and that is very unlike me.
really?
I'm not. It's hard. Like if I say I'll work out for a week, I might work out like 2 days out of the week.
Uh-huh.
I just always find something else to think about. But things that it's stuck out. Hmm. Hmm. Can we come back to that one? That's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hold on to that one. I want to know what are in, and we were kind of talking about this earlier, but like, what are your favorite products to make?
It would be a tie between the butter and the scrub. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why the scrub is like more tedious to make. Honestly, the butter is actually probably the easiest thing to make out of all my products.
Really?
Yeah, this
What makes the scrub tedious to make?
so I use a few oils, of course, one of them being coconut oil. I have to like liquefy it, then
Mm,
re-solidify it once it's mixed in with the organic cane sugar. And then once I do that, I could either mix it in the container that I sell it out of or mix it in a bowl. But with the cane sugar, it's not all gonna come out like out of the bowl. And then it's really messy. Like even if you try your hardest not to be messy with it, it's still gonna like you're still gonna have sugar on the floor. So
yeah,
it's something I really have to work with. But it smells so good and it's so fun to make. Minus the mess.
right. Well, then sugar's like no joke to have all over the floor because then you're walking around later and you're like, oh, it's on my feet. It's like sand, like going to
Right.
the beach and having sand all over everything
All over
afterwards.
my
Like,
hardwood floors.
yes, yes.
So thinking through like everything and all of your products that you're making and everything, like that's a lot of time. That's like a lot of brain power and a lot of life. When you're not Covet Concoctions,
hmm
like who is Ace?
Mm.
Um,
Like, what do
that's a
you
good
like to do
question.
and stuff?
I honestly would like to be like in a dream world, a lounge singer, but
Oh,
we'll see how far I can get with that. But as of right now, I guess I just work, try and save up money. Look at the thing is with the business, every day I try to think of something that I could do because there's always something I can do, even if I tell myself that there's not. Um, I mean, I'm a big foodie.
mm.
I like to sleep a lot. I'm really into like decorating. Anything aesthetically pleasing that I could do, I'll do it. Stuff like that.
That's cool.
Mhm.
You obviously have an eye for beauty, an eye for like the I'm trying to think of the word. Like not the fascinating, but an eye for like something interesting, like the aesthetic. You have an eye,
Mm.
because you not only have the music and the skincare and all these things that add into like luxury, right?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that's really cool.
Actually, the biggest thing, I don't know how I always forget this, but I love writing. I
Oh,
like to
Mhm.
read too, but I love writing, whether it's like a poem, a song, or just like a short story or whatever. I have a lot of songs, but I haven't done anything with them yet.
yeah.
They're just, I actually did um intern at a studio, but the interning ended up me like one of the engineers there, he had me like vocal produce and produce for him because I took production classes in high school. Um, and then he wanted me to record some of my songs, but I was like, oh, I want a vocal coach before I put anything out.
Sure.
Anything that I'm not, I guess, proud of, or anything I would like to be proud of, I always want to make sure it's perfect before I put it out. And that's the same thing with the business. That's why it took so long.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely relate to the need to like have all my ducks in a row
Mm.
before I like present this thing to the world, right? I have to, you know, troubleshoot and make
Yep.
sure that, look ahead to what are things that could go wrong with this, right? So I
Mhm.
think it's admirable that you're thinking that far in advance because as somebody with like such a diverse array of talents and interests and hobbies, I feel like it'd be really easy to jump back and forth between the things and like maybe, and there's something to be said of being super well-rounded and doing a lot of things um not so well, you know what I mean? But it seems like you're trying to do a lot of things like really, really well too. And I think that's
Try.
amazing.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Um, I want to know. So before we were, for those who are not here when we were setting up and talking beforehand, I was mentioning how like when it comes to skincare, I don't really wear a lot of makeup. I don't really, I'm like I just grab the first thing, it's like okay, I can this is embarrassing, but I literally use 2-in-1 shampoo because my hair is so short that I'm just like, okay, whatever, Head and Shoulders 2-in-1. Like I feel like everyone has these like very elaborate skincare, hair care routines, whatever. And I want to know what is the skincare tip you always give people? And maybe it's like one or two things, but I legit like don't know much.
First thing is always wear sunscreen unless you're going out at
Mm.
night.
Mm.
Always. Especially if you have acne scarring. If you don't wear sunscreen, it won't get better unless you're like literally bleaching your skin. Um, Another one, I mean, I guess try to moisturize
Hmm.
morning and night, or at least once a day. Some people are like, yeah, I don't like lotioning my body because I didn't shower or I showered this morning and I don't want to moisturize at night because it'll uh what's the word? They don't want to put something on like dirty skin.
Oh yeah.
But the thing with my butter is it has a few ingredients that are antibacterial
Oh,
and stuff like that. So it wouldn't, and it's non-comedogenic, which means like it won't clog any of the pores. I
Mhm.
have some people who also put it on their face and stuff. Um, I really don't put a lot on my face, so I don't do that, but there are quite a few people who do.
nice.
Um,
That's cool. I feel like there's so many things you have to learn when doing this to like, because the other thing I was reading, your products are all vegan, right?
yes.
Okay, tell me more about that decision, that like choice to make all your products vegan, because it seems like, as with everything, you're putting a lot of thought into these things, wanting to make sure it's not clogging people's pores.
Yeah.
Why vegan?
I Well, really, I was looking at the competition like Bath and Body Works
Mhm.
or whatever other brand, and apparent like I was doing research, and apparently Bath and Body Works is very controversial, I should say, in terms of what they use. So I was like, with me being a smaller business, what could I do to make my product stand out besides just like visual representation of ingredients? I was like, you know what? I could use organic ingredients, I could use vegan ingredients, and
Mhm.
I could use all natural. And the thing is, it's more expensive definitely
Mhm.
to fund that, but it's kind of like a quality over quantity thing. Like I've honestly gotten nothing but praise
Mhm.
for the butters and stuff. Like no one's critiqued it at all, except for this one person. He said that he got a coconut one and he would have preferred it without the color. I was trying, I don't remember what I was trying, but I made it brown
Uh,
because I thought like the coconut color. like the
Yeah.
outside of it, but
Uh-huh.
like, because I always did white, and I was like, this is so boring. And coconut is actually a very popular scent that I sell. I did not expect that at all. I didn't know that many people liked coconut.
Hmm.
Same thing with eucalyptus, and I don't
Yeah.
like the smell of
Really?
eucalyptus. Yeah, but I forgot what the question was.
Um, I don't even remember what I asked. Oh, the vegan thing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the eucalyptus scent. I had a roommate in college. I think I enjoyed or just was like pretty neutral about eucalyptus. And then I had a roommate in college who every morning would use, I think it was a Bath and Body Works eucalyptus lotion.
Mm.
And now I've learned to associate that smell. And the roommate was fine, but like it was my first semester of college and I was like feeling homesick and nervous and, just like
Mm.
generally anxious about the college experience generally. And I now, anytime I smell eucalyptus, like kind of the over processed scent, not like fresh eucalyptus hanging up in a bathroom or whatever, but like
Right.
the lotiony smell, I smell that and I'm immediately anxious, like the scent association. So I kind of relate to the lack of eucalyptus.
It smells like chest rub to me. Like
Oh
the chest rub I used to put
yeah,
on.
like Vicks or whatever.
I was
Okay.
like, this smells exactly like the chest. Yeah, the Vicks. I didn't know this
Yeah,
is like. Yeah, I didn't make the connection.
that is a good point.
Mm.
I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's
Mm.
a little bit medicinal in a way,
Ooh, medicinal. I don't know that word. What does that mean?
like medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh. I don't you used that word a little bit ago that I don't even remember what it is, but the one about it not clogging your pores.
Oh, non-commoditogenic.
Yep, yep. I'm not
That's
gonna
a
be able to
mouthful.
repeat that word.
And I mean, I will say, like, I am the coconut person. I love like coconut, like the scent of coconut. I love the actual shreds of coconut. I know
Mm,
nobody
Yep.
does. Coconut water, coconut milk. So like, feel free to
Almond
like,
Joys.
those are okay.
Ooh.
And actually, they're good. They're good.
Mm,
But there's a lot of options out there. So like,
right.
continue with the coconut for me, for sure.
you have a fan.
It's really popular.
So like if you were trying to talk to somebody or like if you were meeting somebody who maybe didn't know as much about skincare and they were like interested in your products and they're interested in like trying to connect with what you're doing, like where would you recommend they start or like what should be somebody's like routine, if you will, using your products?
First, even if it's just with water, wash your face in the morning and the night. Just get rid of like the sebum off your face. Preferably with like a mild soap or facial soap. Because when I was working at Target, I was a beauty consultant, and I
Mm,
really didn't know anything besides like hair care. I definitely didn't know anything about makeup, but I was interested in learning about skincare just because I had tried so many products over the years before Accutane, and I ended up learning quite a lot, which also played a factor into why I forgot to mention that. Yeah, that was my favorite job actually.
really?
Yeah, it was sad because I was a seasonal position and they couldn't afford to keep
Oh,
me.
Mm.
dang.
Yeah, now the beauty department looks like trash. It's the one at Easton.
Ah, okay. Yeah, without you there, everything
Yeah,
crumbles.
it was because they only had me in the daytime, and then there was two night. What's the word? Not employees. The manager for the section had like went to human resources, and like there was this other guy who was the manager of like three other departments, and he just did not care about the beauty department.
Really? Oh,
Mm.
that's such a bummer. Such a missed opportunity too. Because like I imagine if there was somebody who would walk in just kind of like neutral about it, after talking to you, they would have spent so much money. You know what I mean? So it's like an investment that they missed out on. But it gave you the chance to move into this line then too, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
that's cool. I one thing I'm curious about, and I can't remember, you mentioned something earlier that it was like, you're very intentional about the products you use, right? And like there's something else you said that made me think of this, but I want to know like why is it important for people to support small businesses, sure, but like in your case, like a queer black owned business, why is it important for like that, you know?
I guess just comparing it to like larger companies who like mix a bunch of chemicals and then throw it at you for what, $30 and say it's gonna get rid of your wrinkles. I feel like once you're able to like have a connection, because I speak to I think all my customers actually, whether it's letting them know that I just dropped their order off. Because if anyone orders in Central Columbus or just Columbus in general, I'll just deliver it like the same day. So a
Really?
lot of them, yeah, that's one of the reviews I get often is that it came so fast. Like somebody ordered something at 12 and it was at their house by 1:30
Oh
one
my
day.
gosh.
And they were like, that was
That's
so
like better
quick.
than Amazon,
Yep.
you
It's like
know?
I like people to have their product because I know how I am with packages. I'm so not anxious, but I'm anticipating it a lot. Whatever it is, it could literally be like a pack of socks. I'm gonna want to have it like as soon as I can.
For sure.
So, sorry, I steered off from the question. What was the question again?
Like, why should people support small businesses, specifically like minority-owned businesses?
Um, I just feel like there's gonna be more, like I said, communication, and I feel like you would be able to build more trust with, especially since the people who are like higher up, most of them aren't like people of color or queer stuff like that. So I guess it's just about supporting people who care about what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I know that I would so much rather purchase your products than go to Bath and Body Works. So I didn't
Thank
even
you.
think about like like how you had said like the products it being a little controversial with the ingredients and stuff that it's made with. Yeah, so it's nice to know that you're putting that thought into it.
Yeah, I actually didn't know. My roommate had told me. She was like, Bath and Body Works is really bad, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, even the candles. So I had to do some research, and I was like, oh, but I still buy the 3-wick candles. They smell so good.
But speaking of candles, Ace has these candles here that again, if you're not watching, you can't see, but like he brought these two candles. This one's like a cotton candy smell. It it smells like a lip smackers. For those of you who grew up on lip smackers, it is seriously taking me back. And it's this beautiful baby pink color. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
And I have in my hand, what's the name of this one again?
That one's Black Magic. It
Black
was supposed to be
Magic.
darker, but
I will say I love this one. It actually is giving me like kind of fruity, kind of like
Uh-huh.
it's very bright. It's like very citrusy. I really enjoy this one.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorites.
Well, when you say black magic, I was expecting it to be kind of like musky, maybe, like just
Right,
kind of like,
Mhm.
when you say like a lounge, you know what I mean? Like I
right.
expected it to be like that. And then the fruity, I was like, oh, that's the magic. It
Yeah,
kind of just pops in a way you wouldn't expect. So
yeah.
it's very,
uh,
very clever.
Unexpected. Yeah, I love surprising
Mhm.
people with sense. Like even with my mom, she had ordered two butters just for herself because she uses them naturally. Um, she had ordered a passion fruit one, and she told me to just make something that I think or thought would have smelled good. And so that's how I ended up making this, which is probably literally about 6 days ago. And I
Really.
was like, and I took it to my mom, and she was like, "This is your best scent." She was like, "You're
Oh,
giving Bath and Body Works a run for their money. I need
Mhm.
another one, this, that, and the third." I was like, "Okay, let's see." And I was like, I enjoyed making it because honestly, the only two scents that I added with it were pineapple and cherry. I don't know if you guys got
oh,
that.
cherry. That's what I'm smelling. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and I used to eat fruit cups a lot when I was younger, and my favorite part was always the cherries. And I don't have peach fragrance oil yet, but I was thinking about adding it just because, like, the fruit medley fruit cups. I don't know if you know them. Just have,
Yeah.
and then they have the pears. Those are so good.
I have not thought about those in so long. My memory of eating those was like, they came in the plastic cup because they were the ones that came in the metal cup and then they switched to plastic. And
Mhm.
every time you'd open up the plastic, it would like spray out on you. You know what I mean? Because it was like so full to
Really?
the top, then you would kind of squeeze it as you're opening it and you'd get juice all over yourself.
See, I was one of those people who like put my mouth on it and rip the thing up and then
Oh,
suck the juice out.
Yes.
okay, yeah, that's a much better idea. I was just like doing this and every day I'd get this fruit cup juice on it. That's like my core memory of eating those fruit cups.
Please.
So I'm glad this is a better association with the experience, this body butter then.
Yeah, I don't. I just have like I have a good amount of essential and fragrance oils, and I like whenever I get the chance to like mess around and just like make a scent. Because I've made like there's a few other scents, but it's not like I've marketed them. I have the option on my website, of course, for people to get hybrid and just like leave whatever scents they would like me to
Mhm.
mix at checkout. But I kind of want to look into like having more uh n- not branded scents, but like
Like
what's
signature
signature.
scents.
Yes, that's the word.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool. Well, Ace, as we're wrapping things up, I want to know, like, and for those who are listening, can you give everyone a reminder of where they can find you on social media, your website, how they can buy your products, how they can stay connected?
Yeah, actually my TikTok is Covet Concoctions. My Instagram is Covet Concoctions. My Facebook is Covet Concoctions. My website is covetconcoctions.com. And you can reach my email address at ace, then cyan, like the color, at covetconcoctions.com. Uh, you could buy on the website, but I recently also set up shop to where you could like buy on Facebook and Instagram
Mm.
just through the social media platforms. I think TikTok soon. I got to work on that. But yeah, I think I covered everything.
Awesome. Well, cool. I
Mhm.
know I'll be buying some after this.
Yes.
Yeah, I meant to swing back because I wanted to bring you guys two of these also with the candles, but yesterday was very hectic. Like I drove up and down, like literally to the beginning and end of Morse Road. It felt like three times
Oh my gosh,
because I have a
that's no
yeah,
joke.
yeah.
Well, all good.
Yes. Well, hey, everybody support Ace. And I will say, like, I'm also excited, like, at how quickly you move stuff because I'm able to like get like fresh scents and stuff updated and kind of new merch drops. So like I am very excited to also follow you on the social medias and
Thank
see
you.
what's happening. So yes.
Yeah, I actually do have a video to post today. I've been a little inactive, but I did some editing last night.
Nice.
I mean, I was still posting, but it was like just pictures. I
Yeah.
didn't made a video because it's like just the way my apartment is set up and like where the furniture is. I have to use like a tripod
Mm.
and then like a what's the word? A ring light,
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that. Just to try my best to get the lighting right and then have the phone angled right. And honestly, without my watch, the videos would probably be
Mm,
trash because I can look at what my phone is showing me through my watch.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot, a
mhm.
lot.
That's very innovative that you have that like a whole setup and that you're able to do that. That's very impressive.
Thank you.
I love that. Well, I look forward to seeing that and all future products that you're going to be posting about too. I look forward to it. So thank you for being here with us on Speaking Queerly. I know I enjoyed it. I'm sure Isaiah, you did too. If you're listening to this and you have suggestions for future topics or other questions you'd like us to address, or maybe if you're another small business and you want to be featured, if you're a queer small business, like we'd love to have you on. We love learning about all of them. So send an email to mallory@kycohio.org and we'll connect with you, get that answered here on the podcast. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and share this episode with a friend so that they can learn about Ace's awesome business as well. You can follow us on social media on all platforms at KYC Ohio. And if you like what you heard so far on Speaking Queerly, you can visit kycohio.org/donate. You can make a one-time donation or you can join our Unity Circle, and your contributions will help us continue to serve LGBTQIA plus young people through programming, community-based wellness, and behavioral health supports, or through educational tools like trainings and this podcast. So, in the meantime, we look forward to hearing you next time. In the meantime, check out Covet Concoctions. And
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
yeah, thank you, Ace.
Thank you.